Check one, check two. Going live. We're going live. And we are live. Kick it. Check one, check two. Going live. We're going live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. We're watching some acid house from the 1990s, early 90s. Gotta chew your gum while you do it. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the program today. Has America lost its moral compass? Well, let's look at the 90s. The kids of the 90s are dancing with their hands. It's interesting how times change, right? Da 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 da. Bang! Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. Hi, everybody. Mark Visconti, taking the temperature of America and seeing if America has lost its moral compass leading into the 2024 election. It does seem like that is the case. For the last year, they've been trying to lock each other up. Various candidates accusing each other of nefarious activities. Everything that Trump does is criminal. Everything that Biden did is criminal. And everything that you do is criminal as well. So sit down and shut the hell up. And don't say anything. Just sit there with your hands, sit on your hands and stick the cotton in your mouth. Take it out of your ears. That seems to be, I don't know. I was looking today at a Yahoo Finance piece talking about, what were they talking about? I'll talk about it in a second, but we'll talk about it first. I'll talk about it before I get there. Oh, yeah. 7 crimes Trump could get away with in a second term. Now, 7 crimes Trump could get away with. Right? Now, why are we assuming that the chosen person of the American people, the candidate of the American people, is somehow being elected for crimes, right? That he's a criminal, right? Trump is a criminal, and he's going to execute crimes when he gets in. Same could be said about Biden. The point is, why do Americans feel like that we can't trust the moral compass of the president of the United States? Right? At some point, right? On every mountain, there's a very top. On every pyramid, there's a tip. For every arrow, there's a point. For every pencil has a point, right? Every valley has a high. Now, the same is true in politics, right? If you're going to build a system of politics, at some point, the very, very top is the very, very top, and could arguably have power over everything below it. That's why they're there. That's why they've been elected to that position, because somebody has to do it. Somebody has to have the moral compass to navigate the millions and billions of people, 330 million people in this country, and the probably billions that these people affect. All right, so we can sit around and point to all the moral deficits of each one of these candidates and say Trump is just running to line his own pockets, to cash in on his his election. Just like Putin. Putin is the richest guy in the world, one of the richest guys in the world. So Trump is on his heels to become the richest guy in the world by doing whatever it takes to make it happen. Right now, should we frown on a wealthy president, a president who enriches himself, and look, they just tried to criminalize everything Trump did. Trump was passing money around in 2016 to shut a hooker up from talking. They gave her money. They gave her whatever she wanted. She wouldn't shut up. And for that, 34 felonies. Those felonies, by the way, are now, Trump is sitting waiting for sentencing. Supreme Court has ruled that the President of the United States has absolute immunity to stupidity like this. However, the hush money case started in 2016, but it didn't finalize until Trump was well into his presidency. So anything that happened in that hush money case now falls under the umbrella of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court's ruling that there is absolute immunity for a president. So all of the efforts by the Democrats to criminalize everything that Trump did as president has failed. All of it. I think there's only one left, the Georgia case that's thrown out because the fact that, the bigger fact is that Trump is about to win the presidency. And once he does, then he can successfully pardon himself and maybe lock up the corrupt judges and prosecutors like Jack Smith, the special prosecutor. Because they're not immune to this type of thing. But there is one person in the world that is, in our world, in the American world. And we need to choose somebody who we feel is doing the deed of the American people. By Trump creating a world of riches and making America great again and being prosperous, himself and for others, is not necessarily a bad picture of America. The world sees America as a wealthy nation, a nation of opportunity. They don't want to look at some poor fucking peanut farmer president. They want to look at a wealthy guy like Trump. They like that. It's a good image. And how does Trump project that image of wealth? By being wealthy himself. That's how he does it, right? He's the real estate guy, right? So it does look like the moral compass is so off the rails. I mean, really, we don't really know what to expect for this election. Is there going to be assassinations? Is there going to be people sitting in prison longer than they should have been? Will the January 6th people finally get out of jail? I hope so. I do hope that that is now resolved. That even if Trump told these people to go to whatever, it doesn't look. Trump, you get my point, right? So I do believe that the American people have lost their moral compass. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, Fletch. David Brown in the house. Quinn Smith, how are you? How are you? Pixie, how you doing? Cass Philly Camden, good morning. William R. Hall, my brother from a different mother, says Trump enriched himself with a stack of eviction notices that would reach the moon. Okay, I'm not really sure what you're talking about, but it sounds good. It sounds good. Good morning, Weevil Girl. Weevil Girl in the house. Bored Annoying is here. Fletch. Welcome, everybody, to the program, and happy Wednesday to you. That's my thumbnail today. That is the moral compass for 2024. Trump has been anointed king, and in the same breath, so has Joe Biden. Joe Biden is now king, according to the Supreme Court. Joe Biden has absolute immunity to do whatever he wants. So all of that, all of those accusations about him taking money from Hunter Biden, who was doing nefarious things in the Ukraine, is now off the table. Because in reality, that's really just a son taking care of daddy. Right? For a son to say, "Dad, don't worry about it. Whatever I get, I give you 10%," whether he's president or not, is really irrelevant in a court of law, in a morally just place. A son giving his father money for his deeds is not technically or morally wrong. Right? It's something that you just do, right? Like Trump enriching himself and his family, making sure that Ivanka and Jared have, every opportunity to advance is not necessarily a bad thing, right? So this issue of what is morally good and correct, it doesn't seem America can figure it out. It seems that they look at one side, the other side, right? They stack all of their grievances and all of their beliefs on one pile. And if you don't agree with these, or you have a different pile of things that you believe in, then you're on the other side. It's very hard to explain, but we're gonna try to figure this out. Does America, going forward, and Americans have any sense of a moral compass going into this 2016 election? Forced vaccines, forced incarcerations, right? Riots and rallies. That's a tough one. My name is Marcus Conte. Good morning, everybody. It's educational and philosophical, right? There's no real solid evidential facts here. It's just ramble, really, right? We're trying to get to the bottom of this very, very, very unique situation in America where a sitting president or a former president was convicted and is trying to be convicted of so many stupid, irrelevant crimes, while the sitting president continues to break those exact crimes, right, by quid pro quo, taking money, bribery. And the American people have to sort this out, right? The only thing the Americans have is a broken electoral system where everybody at every turn of the screw tries to cheat and tries to manipulate the outcome, right? And that's all the Americans have, right? That's all the people, the masses have. And if you step out of line, if you're a people, you get thrown in fucking jail, or you get a vaccine forced on you, right? Like this guy, look at this. Hey, Weevil Girl, pay attention to this, because this, I know you had a similar situation, fired for not getting the COVID-19 vaccine. Look at this. Jury awards 600. Finally, this is happening. Jury awards $687,000 to Blue Cross Blue Shield scientist fired for refusing COVID-19 vaccine. Now, many people were fired, especially in New York City, were fired. How many hospital workers got fired for refusing the vaccine? Well, Tanya Benton, who worked 16 hours at the firm when she was fired, was awarded $177,000 in back pay, $10,000 in compensation, and $500,000 in punitive damages. $500,000 in punitive damages. This all happened in a federal court in eastern Tennessee. Companies also told Benton in August 2021 that she would need to be, quote, fully vaccinated to keep her position, according to her lawsuit. Ms. Benton refused, saying aborted fecal cell lines were involved in the development of COVID-19 vaccine, and she could not, quote, in good conscience consume the vaccine, which would not only defile her body, but also anger and dishonor God. Right? So she had a religious and/or scientific reason for not taking the vaccine, and who cares? Why are you forcing me to take a pill, right, or a medication or a shot? Right? Who the fuck are you to tell me to do that, right? So the courts are now finally getting around to seeing the horrificness of being forced into a vaccine. So I applaud this outcome. This is I hope it keeps coming. There's definitely going to be a statute of limitations. So if you were fired in 2020, a lot of these statutes are 4 years, right? So you got to get busy. You got to do it right away, right? When fired, do it right away. And a lot of people are going to lose that benefit. But the case says unequivocally that, judges in Tennessee, Eastern Tennessee, agree that forcing someone to take a vaccine or they lose their job is bad, is against civil law. And for that, you will pay. So that's good news. Here's something. Latest poll. We got to keep looking at the polls. Today is July 3rd in the year 2024. Latest Yahoo News poll has Trump up by 2. Yesterday's poll, CNN had Trump up by 6. Right? And when you add in the possible spoilers, Kennedy, Stein, West, Trump is still up by 6. Right? USA Today, Trump by 3. TIPP has Biden by 2 and 1, respectfully. Right. Here, Pennsylvania, on July 1st, Pennsylvania, Trump by 4. Oh, that's devastating to the Democrats. Pennsylvania by 4, even with the spoilers. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's voting for him? I think I might. Why not? I'm going to vote for somebody, right? I'm going to vote for somebody. On November 5, I'm going to walk in and I'm going to vote for somebody. I don't know who it is. I may never tell anybody who I voted for. Or I may say I voted for one person and voted for the other person. Because that's just the way elections are. I don't really want anyone knowing who I voted for. I don't like when people ask me, who did you vote for? It's none of your business. I voted. Did you vote? You voted? Great. Right? And what comes out of your mouth is more important to me. And if you're singing and swinging liberal talking points and or conservative talking points, I basically know who you voted for. So let your actions speak. You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to tell anybody. And Quinn Smith says the damage is already done in terms of, I think, the vaccine situation. Yeah, a lot of bad stuff. So Democrats still calling on Joe Biden to drop out. Trump is surging in the polls, surging in the American consciousness, is surging on the rally trail, right? Surging in the courts, right? All those cases again, he's winning every case. Trump is doing nothing but winning. He's winning every single case. All those cases are getting tossed, and someday, all these politicians that are now telling Biden to drop out, maybe they're afraid that they're going to get, held accountable for their crimes, right? We could look at the Senate and say everything that they do is a crime, right? And Trump is about to lock them all up, right? Trump now has carte blanche. If Trump wins the election, he's the king, right? That's how half the country sees it, right? Does Trump have the proper moral compass to be president? He has enough, right? He's not soft in the sense that people are going to, straight out break the law, right? I do think that's a hard one to call as well. I'm sticking myself today. How you doing, everybody? How's everybody doing? Oh man, it's beautiful out. I want to go outside. It's really, really nice out. 74 degrees, 74 sunny degrees, no clouds. Heading for, I think, like 85 here in Pennsylvania. That's important, right? That's what my moral compass is. It's on the garden. I have 2 new friends in the garden. There's a new cat, Batman. You want to see Batman? You want to see the reincarnation? Oh, here's this is. I'll give you some stuff of what's happening here. These are my new cats. Right? These are 2 new cats out in the yard. Right? Batman and Granny Cat passed away, but These two cats are enjoying themselves in my yard now. That is, I think it's the reincarnation of Batman, to be honest with you. I don't know if you believe in reincarnation, but I certainly do. And that's Zeke the squirrel. Say hello to Zeke. Zeke is a wonderful, wonderful friend of mine who enjoys pistachio nuts and cashew and pecan are among his favorites. This is my blueberry tree. There's blueberries growing. Blueberries. This is a timely pause. Right? Timely pause right now. I just want to show you Batman. Is this the reincarnation of Batman? It has to be. Right? See, that's one cat. Right? That's obviously not Batman. But what about this guy? What about this guy? Where's Batman? Wait a second. Where's Batman? Where's Batman? Where's Batman? Where's Batman? Batman, Batman, Batman. Where's the picture of Batman? There he is. All right. So you're telling me that this cat that just came for a visit. Let me get the full screen. I have a cat that came for a full visit, and there he is. Right now, if you know Batman, Batman was that looks like Batman, right? Now, how the fuck did a black cat that looks and acts exactly like Batman come back? Well, come into my yard. How is that even possible? Right? The cat has the same mannerisms, looks like Batman. It's Batman, right? That's the Tulku. That's the reincarnation of Batman right there. Right? So Batman has returned. There's Batman, right? Batman has returned. So anyway, so the Democrats are acquiring to get rid of their candidate Joe Biden, and they're pushing. This is the latest. Lloyd Doggett. What a fucking name, Lloyd Doggett. Hey, Mr. Doggett. I bet he had a troubled childhood. Hey, Doggett. Is calling. He's a Democrat from Austin, Texas. Is calling for the quick withdrawal of Joe Biden from the race. Who do you get? You got a plan? So to follow up, Trump's sentencing delayed 2 months, if such is still necessary. Right? Trump is facing 34 felonies. Right? He's already been convicted. And he's waiting for a sentencing, which there is not going to be any jail time or anything like that. And now that the Supreme Court has ruled, that sentencing date has been postponed for 2 months, if such is still necessary. This case just got thrown out. Look at this. Look at this. Breaking, right? Just in. Judge Merchant has vacated Donald Trump's July 11th sentencing date and will delay it until September 18 if such is still necessary. Right? Is therefore vacated. The court's decision will be rendered off calendar on September 6th, and the matter is adjourned to September 18. Wait a second. Off the calendar on September. The July 11th sentencing date. The court's decision will be rendered off calendar on September 6th, and the matter is adjourned to September 18 at 10 a.m. for the imposition of sentence, if such is still necessary, or other proceedings, right? So the judge is basically saying, if we even need to do this sentencing, then we'll do it, right? Because what's going to happen is the heat on this judge to consider what the Supreme Court has said, right? If you convict Trump on these felonies, right, and sentence him, there's a 100% chance that Trump is going to appeal all of this, the whole decision, to the Supreme Court, and what? And win. Why? Because he was the sitting president at the time. All of these things are in connection with his official role as president, right? Hush money, hookers, making people disappear. Right? So Trump's, not only his past worries of felony convictions, that's going to get tossed. The Democrats can still say, "Oh yeah, Trump's a convicted felon," but see, this comes into it brings into question the morality of America. Does the United States have any moral compass left to even know what a crime is? Right? You see it around you. You go into, you look at the cities of America, and they're gang bashing and gang stealing, gang looting going on, where 20 or 30 or 50 people barge into a jewelry store, start smashing the windows and the cabinets and stealing diamonds and jewelry and running out the door with no consequence, or going into high-end stores, or pushing people in front of trains, or punching people randomly, racial attacks. What is the... See, those are crimes, right? When some crazy person punches an old lady in the face and knocks her into a moving train, that's a horrific crime, right? And that person should be, jailed for a long time. Not someone who misappropriates funds in an election, or allegedly misappropriates funds in an election. You see, the point is that Americans, they don't even know what a crime is anymore, right? What like, you know what I mean? It's fucked up, but it's all falling apart. But let's talk about 7 crimes Trump could get away with in his second term. He could, right? If Trump wanted to get away with crimes, these are 7, according to Yahoo Finance, that he probably could get away with. Offering bribes. Some legal analysts argue that Trump's effort to withhold U.S. funding for Ukraine in 2019 until its president, Vladimir Zelensky, provided political dirt on Biden was akin to bribery. No, it's not. No, it's not. He's a sitting president making an inquiry into a potential corrupt candidate, right? And it was the Democrats that then brought a fucking it's almost getting impossible to follow, right? Trump then Congress then tries to impeach Trump. Right? It's very, very, very dirty out there. Right? The whole scenario is getting very dirty. Nobody trusts the other, and the only solution is try to arrest and or criminalize the other guy's behavior. That is a fucked up place to be in America. Right? That all you're definitely doing something wrong, because everybody who has power does something wrong. And you look too comfortable there. You're fucking doing something wrong, man. You must be a criminal. You're with Trump and the criminals. You're with Biden and the criminals. Right? That's what's happening. There's no moral compass. Right? What about joy? What about love? Right? What about looking out like the Bernie Sanders days, where people were optimistic that this guy was going to bring some sort of optimism back to the White House? Or there's been presidents like that. I don't know. Certainly, it doesn't look like Trump or Biden really have that, moral compass. Joe Biden is wholly responsible for all of these alleged crimes that Trump did, because Trump investigated his shenanigans in the Ukraine with him and his son, and it proved to be correct. And then from that inquiry, because the American Congress decided to impeach Trump, what happened? Zelensky got ousted. Right? Zelensky got ousted by who? By Vladimir Putin. Right? Putin came in and took Ukraine. That vacuum was entirely because Congress chose to impeach Trump. You see how it's all connected? It's a fucking vicious cycle of immorality. Right? Accepting bribes. Look, they all accept bribes. Every single politician accepts a bribe. That's what they do. They run. They then say, okay, who's going to give me the money to get something done? Or I need something done for the people. Who's going to give me $5 million and make it happen? Right? Right? Which is a cop-out, right? You shouldn't be asking anybody for money to get something done for the people, but that's precisely what they do. So that they can say, look, I got it done. Don't worry about my $5 million. Right? So bribery is they all sell influence, right? Come on. Right? When Bill Clinton shows up to do a talk, right, and the Saudis pay him $1 million to show up and talk and drink tea, it's not because they like Bill Clinton. It's because they know Bill Clinton is connected and has influence. Bill Clinton is technically selling influence, right? That's a foundational principle of business, selling influence. Right? So extortion, what does that mean? Obstructing justice. Oh, yes, obstructing justice. What, not showing up to respond like Steve Bannon did? Refusing to show up to speak before a corrupt Congress about a corrupt situation involving President Trump. And for that, he gets thrown in jail for 4 months. Right? So what is obstructing justice? Right? Is Joe Biden coming out saying that Donald Trump is a felon and shouldn't be trusted in the White House? Is that obstructing justice? You could argue that it is. Right? It's all free speech, right? Falls into the category of free speech. David Brown says, it's hard to talk about politics without using curse words. You're right, man. This motherfucker. Manipulating financial markets. Trump touted the markets. I remember when Trump said, buy the dip. Right after the pandemic, the market crashed. And Trump said, Trump was still in office. Trump said, he shook his finger and said, buy the dip. And what happened? It went up, way up. So manipulating markets, come on. That's everything a president says manipulates a market. It's to what degree, right? If a president says, I think the markets are going to go up, right? Or I think the economy is, if a president says, I think the economy is strong, that's a manipulation of the market. That's you're basically you're announcing to the people that the markets are healthy and you should buy. You should get involved in this market. Using private email to avoid transparency. There's so many ways that people speak off the record. Do you really think that everything Trump says as president or everything Biden says as president is documented? Hell fucking no. If Biden and some other quack are walking in the Rose Garden in the White House, nobody knows what they're saying. That's why they're out there walking in the Rose Garden, right, talking to each other. Right? When two politicians talk, so avoid using private email. Well, we already know that they will anyway. Right? People do that all the time. They have 5 and 6 emails. So a lot of these assumed crimes are now falling by the wayside. Manipulating financial markets. Right? So the president can't talk about the financial markets. Using private email. A president can't use private email. It's all becoming utterly ridiculous. Accepting bribes. Well, what is a bribe? Right? If you give me money, you're enriching the United States of America because I'm its president. And when I look good, everybody else looks good. Could be the argument. Offering bribes, well, that's not. That's the offering of money to Ukraine is not necessarily a bribe. There was $1 billion that goes to Ukraine, and Trump basically says, "Well, you're not going to get your $1 billion until you come clean with these shenanigans that are going on with the Joe Biden and his son." Right? That's not necessarily offering bribes. That's drawing the line in the sand, saying that tell us what we need to know, or you're not getting your $1 billion. If you think that we're a banana republic, if you think that locking people up for political speech and or attending political rallies is bad, look at this guy. Saudi producer sentenced to 13 years in prison over animated Netflix series. 13 years in jail because the Saudi princes didn't like the movie. They thought that it promoted terrorism and homosexuality. right? And for that, you got 13 years in jail. Now you say, oh my God, that's so terrible. How dare them? How dare them throw somebody in jail for 13 years for what? For making an animated movie with opinions in it? You say, right? Oh, it's terrible. But right? But what did the United States do? The Joe Biden administration locked up people for as much as 30 years in calling it insurrection and seditious conspiracy to overthrow the government. How fucking outrageous is that? How unfoundational is that? How totally American it is to go after the government and demand redress of grievance, right? Right. There is so a lot of these. I think what's happening as we approach the election is that the lines in the sand are no longer there, right? What is legal? What is illegal? What is fair game in an election? Cheating. What does that even mean? Right? There is no cheating. According to both parties, nobody cheats. Right? It's all manipulation. It's all who can manipulate the facts and figures more than the other guy, right? And not get, even if you get caught, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't even matter. Democrats, look, if you're looking for a free and fair election in America, well, and you're a Democrat, you got Joe Biden, right? And if they pull Joe Biden, what do you got? You got whatever they give you, right? You got whatever they give you. Is that manipulation? Is that manipulation of financial markets? It's manipulation at the highest level. Right? But so anyway, this guy, this producer here, he made a video. He made a Netflix series about the Saudi princes, and he talked I don't know what he talked about in it. He made references. He said such sentences as, "May God curse you," and "you donkey." Donkey, the animal, donkey, amount to a crime. Right? So you can't say these words in Saudi Arabia. And before you say, oh my God, that's so terrible, hold your fire. Right? There are people sitting in jail right now for January 6th for showing up at a rally in Washington, D.C., sitting in a cell because they showed up at a rally, a political rally in 2020, and cheered on their then sitting president, Donald Trump, and did what he basically said to do: go down to Congress and make your voices heard. So which is worse, right? Cursing God and calling you a donkey, or showing up at a political rally, right? The political rally people, some of them got 30 years in jail, right? And this guy got 13 years in jail. So we're not far. Where we in this, by this measure, we actually exceed the threshold of Banana Republic by about 15 years. So anyway, Marcus Conte reporting on a very difficult subject. It's very difficult to talk about the politics right now. My mind is starting to settle a little bit with it, and trying to understand just how far. Right? Nothing is off the table in this election, by the way. Nothing is off the table in this election. Right? Anything can happen. A president can get shot. A candidate can get fucking disappeared. Right? You know, people in the street can get shot for, like Seth Rich. You can get shot in the back, and nobody's accountable. Right? Whenever there's no investigation, you know that somebody powerful did it, right? That's the reality of it. Enjoy the 1989 rave. Marcus Conte reporting.